Good morning, afternoon, evening around the world. My name is Christoph Stückelberger. I'm the Executive Director of the Geneva Agape Foundation, Professor of Ethics, and coordinator of this online conference, the fourth International Faith-Based Investment Conference. We held it in Geneva in the last 3 years, but now online for obvious reasons of COVID. I'm happy to introduce briefly the topic, Faith-Driven Investing, Walk the Talk, with an Africa-Europe focus. It's about investing, impact investing from a values perspective and from a faith-based perspective. We invite people to participate from religious organizations as project partners and investment partners, but investors from different backgrounds. The organizers are the Geneva Agape Foundation, focused on value-driven investing and entrepreneurship. Then together in cooperation with a Faith Invest, which is more an interfaith foundation based in London. Then we have the World Evangelical Alliance business unit, which unites entrepreneurs with a Christian background around the world. And then we have also the World Council of Churches, and especially its unit for justice and economic justice. So it's a broad coalition where we come together to look at possibilities, concrete projects, but also concepts behind challenges. How can we walk the talk? We talk a lot about solutions, but we want to contribute also to very concrete effects, cooperation, partnerships, mutual encouragement, engagement in value-driven and faith-driven investment. International Conference, Faith-Driven Investing, Walk the Talk, Africa-Europe Focus. As of today, we have 93.5 million corona cases around the world. Millions of small and medium enterprises will close. So that is a dramatic situation around the world. But we do not give up. We want to have this conference as a sign that we look for solutions. We want to walk the talk even. That means not only talk, but then try to do steps. And the focus here is do steps in investing, because there is a lot of money. We will hear during this conference there are trillions waiting somewhere to be invested, but how to do, with whom to do it with an impact. That's what we want to explore and contribute in a modest way during this conference. And we want to mobilize also the spiritual side, faith-driven we call it. The resources of faith, of hope, of love are resources in addition, and sometimes even the precondition for investing and sharing resources like money, sharing human resources, sharing knowledge and management skills. But all of that cannot happen if we are hopeless. So we need hope, we need this faith, we need this inner drive and energy and fountain of energy. And that's what we want to bring to the table of investments.
I want to offer a very warm welcome to this important conference on faith-driven investing, Walk the Talk, and I also want to wish all of you a happy new year. Sisters and brothers, an additional 150 million people have fallen into extreme poverty, and that we are all interconnected.
The focus of this conference, even in this time of pandemic and this time of extreme crisis, still seeing practically what we can come together to do, to achieve, to invest in order to improve the well-being of the people and planet with whom we all live.
I greatly appreciate to now be also a host member of this conference here, and it's up to us to create synergies among both ends. Probably people say faith issues doesn't relate to investment issues, But I think there are a lot of opportunity as a firework of ideas, initiatives, campaigns, examples, how to make use of all the richness we have.
We have speakers, especially from Africa, but also Europe and from global background, with a lot of expertise, really highly qualified people.
One of the instructions was that people need to stop congregating and to understand that the church is not necessarily the building, but the people and how we are able to worship in other ways. Many of the COVID patients require emergency care, ICU care, and even our big referral hospitals did not have critical care and emergency care equipment, as well as capacity. There is a lot of opportunity in technology, in being able to roll out the vaccine.
There are always opportunities when the world changes. The market size for Impact is around 700 billion today. What's happened really to the way that Impact has invested? The metrics are better. We try to assess who is going to invest in Impact and why they're investing. AI is an important part of all markets and investments, and blockchain as well. But what I want to look at very quickly is how an impact investor can use these technologies to make a selection. With the impact market at 700 billion, but with the overlay of new technology, I think impact will grow quite a bit more than it has the 200 billion that it has done in the previous 2 years.
Africa is a marvelous continent. It has most of the potential wealth for our world development. It's full of natural resources, and we all know that. But it has, in my view, two very important assets. One of them is the youth, the other one is the capacity for growth. The African society improvement, which is, in my view, the most important. We should give the opportunity to Africa to become a stronger contributor for the world development.
Then what we saw that is that many entrepreneurs need a little bit of assistance in making the company bankable, or in making investable proposals, or later on in what we do, keeping the bookkeeping in order and go to a sound accounting system, and we provide that assistance. Now, many people say you shouldn't give assistance, but don't forget, in the EU, you need banks, you need investment companies like DOB and others, LTG, also the Finnish one that is also present in this conference. You need them to step forward. And there I also think that religious organizations can be in the forefront and also can bridge the gap, like UNICEF. What we saw today is an organization that really can build bridges between financiers and organizations that need the money. The last one is, if you do impact investing, it's harder than normal investing, let's say. However, you can do it profitable, but you have to do it professionally.
Lombard Odier as a bank, like I said, is a private bank. We are investing monies of various individuals. The objective of this relationship is to maximize the financial returns of their investment. At the same time, we are willing to achieve as well our social responsibility. So what we are doing there is to finance the improvements in educational infrastructure in India, helping the private school expand their infrastructure, and then help them training their teachers. Green Light Planet Group. So this is a group, low-income homes to quality energy. Most of the African and Indian, they don't have light, potable water. So through the Green Light Planet Group, we have invested with our alliances and our colleagues and our partners almost $10 million on how to enhance the availability of electricity, availability of potable water. That project is ongoing in India and in Kenya. Thank you very much.
In the parallel sessions, we heard about how this is already happening. And I have to say, much of what I heard was just so inspiring. So in the plenary session now, we want to explore how different faiths are supporting this effort. What are some of the significant initiatives underway to shift principles and to change the praxis?
It so happens Hindu scriptures advise us on a concept of karma. It is amazing that this wisdom of about 5,000 years old is still relevant today. The IPCC, which is an intergovernmental panel for climate change, has been studying climate change emissions into the atmosphere for 40 years. In making people aware of the choices we make on that stewardship point, we need more engineers, more lawyers, more entrepreneurs from Africa to take up the challenge.
There's one question come in. If any of you have examples of faith investors investing in climate solutions that have worked. This is from James Buchanan.
Investing in infrastructure that enables them to power, for example, local schools, local hospitals, through their solar plants, through their geothermal, etc. That's a very simple scheme which basically set out to address the energy uses of religious buildings, and then realised that with 22,000 buildings geared now to produce alternative energy, they had almost accidentally created a small-scale investment by local parishes, local mosques, local synagogues that has changed the nature. They power every year the Democratic Convention.
So yeah, I'm Grant, and I've been in construction all of my life. 22 years ago, two friends of mine asked me if I would form an NGO, a charity, to support poor communities, and I said no. However, they took me to a project and introduced me to the project leader, and my heart was taken in Dagoretti in Nairobi, where we were sponsoring 2 children through education. And as I sat in that tin shed, which they called their home, I thought to myself, one of the huge challenges in Kenya is that the people at the lower end get paid such pathetic wages. Can we actually create commercial employment that pays those at the bottom end a fairer wage? So we will build a quality, affordable house. We will pay our construction works, and we are effectively paying school fees. How do we do that? Somebody said to me, why do you do this? Because it isn't easy.
If you want to resonate with your counterpart, then you also have to convince that person as to the why you're doing something.
Walk the talk, which certainly means we must support investment that align with international climate conventions, but more importantly, take a bold and visionary step by investing in initiatives that are designed to deal with the social, economic and environmental transformation in Africa.
And it's about the real impact on people's livelihoods, how have people's lives improved over the long haul.
I'm very thankful for our hosting team with the Geneva GAP Foundation, Faith Invest and the World Council of Churches. It was a great time.
We invite all of you to participate actively. Stay with us as long as possible so that you have these fruitful inputs, and then we will also look for cooperation after the conference. Enjoy your conference. And then we will have in March a second one for Asia.